You're listening to Parasearch Radio, news, views and reviews from the world of the paranormal from across the UK and beyond. Find us on Facebook, Twitter and the World Wide Web. Parasearch UK Radio. Parasearch Radio, broadcasting to the UK and beyond.
The views and opinions expressed by presenters and guests are their own and do not necessarily reflect the official policy or position of Parasearch Radio or its affiliates and sponsors. Listener discretion is advised. You're listening to Kerry Greenaway and Mark Manley on the Dark Mirror Paranormal Show, only on Parasearch Radio.
Good evening and welcome to the Dark Mirror Show. My name is Kerry Greenaway and I'm joined in the studio this evening by Mr. Mark Manley to start with. Good evening, Mark. How are you?
A lot better, thank you very much. I'm sorry I missed being in the show last week, but I is back now, and I is not very ill, and I is, back to annoy the living daylights out of you all.
Honestly, the sickness bug last week was horrendous. Everybody was suffering, weren't they?
My granddaughter's got it now. She's just basically a 10-month-old snot bubble at the moment, but it's quite cool.
Lovely.
I keep chucking her, making her spin round, so then she's full of snot, and then I hand her back to my daughter, and my daughter's like,
nothing
cool.
worse than a baby with snot. And Mr. Paul Rook is in the house. Good evening, Mr. Paul Rook.
Good evening. How are you?
I'm fine.
Oh, he's ingested his microphone.
Mm.
Really?
Oh, you sounded very loud. That's all when you first come on.
Okay.
You were like this. Hello, everybody.
He's not now, so it's fine. And everyone's eardrums have just been burst. Yeah. Good evening, chat room. By the way, thank you so much for joining us all tonight. So, new concept show as always. We are talking about the trending topics. What is that noise?
I don't know. I can hear that as well. Music.
I think it's Las Vegas.
I think we could be live from Las Vegas, baby. Good evening,
Mr. Carl Hutchinson.
Hello.
How are you?
It is. There he is. Hi, dude.
All right.
We have got Mr. Carl Hutchinson in the house, live from which bar are you in, Carl?
The Aurora bar in the Luxor.
He's in his favourite seat in the Aurora bar. If you don't know what that's about, then you need to listen back to last night's show. Now, this is quite good timing because we ended the show last night with you visiting Zach Baggins' museum.
Baggins, yeah.
Him. And you were going back to face your fears. So how was it for you, my lovely?
Yeah, it was all right, actually. We went back. Went on the tour. He's setting up for today, which is a load of clowns and I don't know, whatever he's doing today. So we did see Zach wandering around putting out pumpkins. But we queued up, we went in. He's got a lot of new exhibits there. He's been tinkering and playing around with the museum and talking to the tour guides. The last 2 weeks, the activity in the museum has been off the scale. There's a very, very different vibe.
So you didn't have any problems that you had like last time?
Well, what I did was, the tour guide that was taking us round remembered me from last year. And I just said to her, there's a couple of rooms I'm not going to go back into. Which is, again, Cauldron. The serial killers who basically cooked up his victims in a big cauldron and ate them.
Nice.
I didn't go back. I didn't go in that room. I didn't go into Dr. Corkin's death van room, which is where I started to feel a little bit weird last year. And then obviously, as soon as I went into Ed Gein's cauldron room, that was me done for that particular tour. So I made it all the way round without a couple of weird incidents where we were waiting to go into one of the rooms and it felt like somebody had flicked my ear.
What, like just like a flick with a finger?
Yeah, like flick with a finger. Nobody was next to me. Felt like somebody literally just really hard flicked my ear. Everybody witnessed me like jumping out of my skin because it's pitch darkness in there. And then we went in to see Peggy the doll.
Yeah, Jane Harris's doll. Yeah.
Yeah, and has a live spirit box constantly going. And you obviously have to say hello, Peggy, and goodbye, Peggy, when you go in and out of the room. So I then said, oh, by the way, Jane said, because I spoke to Jane, Jane said to say hello. And there was a response, but because there was a lot of people in the room, I couldn't be 100% sure what the response was.
Oh, interesting stuff.
Yeah. We then went upstairs into another room, which is like a sideshow exhibition. So there's different items in there, but there is some of the tour guys dressed as clowns.
Ooh, scary.
Yeah. One of them obviously joined us to take us from the sideshow up to a particular area where you have to walk down this narrow corridor with life-size clowns all the way down one side. And it's playing music and there's smells of like the sideshow and the circus and freak shows and stuff like that. I was a little bit back from everybody else because I was just talking to one of the tour guides. And as we rounded the corner, there's an alcove, and there's this, what I thought was another mannequin. But it wasn't a mannequin, it was actually a clown.
Oh, did you attack them?
No, this clown jumps out at me, and she was probably about 30 seconds from me slapping it. Because I'd raised my fist and then went back because I literally wasn't expecting this thing to come out at me. But she went back into the alcove and did a part. Obviously, this is what happened. Sam was there. She knew what was going on because she'd been in before. So I literally felt like my heart was going to jump out my chest. Completely and utterly taken aback. Very close to lumping a clown. Probably.
I know, let's go on holiday to Vegas and punch a clown.
Yeah.
To be fair, I'd do exactly the same.
Yeah. Probably wouldn't have been the best possible move I want. But because somebody jumps at you.
Exactly.
England, I'm ready to punch back. And when we got into the next room, because I had to be calmed down because I was hyperventilating, the tour guide came up to me and she went, I've just spoken to the clown. Hello?
Yeah.
I've just spoken to the clown, and she's so apologetic.
Yeah, I bet she is. I ain't going to do that again. I'm going to get punched next time.
Yeah, a big English dude nearly swung at her. I said, that's fine. I just tell her how close she was to getting lumped in the face.
Oh dear.
Well, he's got loads of new exhibitions there. New items. He's got like the Devil's Rocking Chair from the Conjuring House. Ed and Lorraine's from Ed and Lorraine's collection, which is this rocking chair, which was used during a exorcism. So it's great. I'm in Las Vegas, and Mark keeps jumping in and out of his Skype from Great East Yorkshire.
Yeah, I know, right? Now, I did read somewhere along the way in this week that Mr. Zach Baggins himself has actually purchased for $310,000 the original ghost busting gear from Ghostbusters.
Yeah, it's not actually an exhibit just yet. But yeah, he's purchased some original items from the original film Ghostbusters.
It wouldn't surprise. As I say, it wouldn't surprise me if they start using it.
$310,000, everybody.
Yeah.
How nice.
Well,
do you not feel it's turning into more a spooky pop culture kind of place than it is anything relevant? I mean, I know he has alleged haunted objects in there, but do you think he's mixing that too much with pop culture stuff?
No, because he has one particular room which is called the celebrity room, which he has items from celebrities, like he's got Liberace's piano, he's got Patrick Swayze's passport, he's got Michael Jackson stuff, he's got Chris Farley, the comedian stuff, and it's going in that particular room, these sort of things, because he has a celebrity room, where he's got like movie props and stuff like that. I don't know what he's going to do with these Ghostbusting stuff. We kind of spoke to another tour guide who was telling me that he's bought them, he's going to be putting them in the next few days. But there was 3 items on the whole tour that he only put in that morning.
Right.
That he's purchased, and there's been activity around them as soon as he put them in. Because what he's done, he has the cellar to the Haunted Museum, which is basically where Zach goes to play around with his equipment and bits and bobs like that. And anybody who saw the live show last Halloween, a lot of activity goes down there. So he doesn't let the general public down there. So what he done yesterday morning, he put CCTV cameras and he put a TV screen so you can actually see into the cellar now.
Mm.
And you can see the pentagram on the floor, which when they bought the museum was actually on the floor, where people kept on breaking into the abandoned house or mansion and did rituals and stuff like that. But he's got like the mirror from the captain of the Titanic. He's got a very strange item, which you were only allowed in the room one at a time. And it's like on a horseshoe. So you went in one door, you wandered round, you couldn't see it, it just looked like a wooden panel. And then when you got to the top of the curve, there's a little box with this skull with hair hanging down. Instead of proper, and it's alleged to be a skull of a witch.
Right.
From Scotland. That was a new exhibition. But I don't know why you're only allowed to go in one at a time. And they basically said, don't say anything, be respectful, don't interact with the skull. Don't know why. That was a bit weird. He's also redesigned the Demon House room. I didn't go in the Demon House room because I was talking to a friend of mine who knows the Demon House, was there on the documentary. And he just said, if you are worried one little bit about how you're feeling and you haven't got protection, stuff like that, he said to me, Carl, do not go anywhere into the Demon House, because that is the most active exhibition room that he has in the museum.
Mm. Going back to the skull, that is a bit like a red rag to a bulldozer, sending people in one by one and telling them not to interact. That is almost like saying, go on, interact. Do you not think?
Yeah, I completely agree. But she just explained it and just said she's not going to tell you what it is. And she gave a little bit of history to it. It's from Scotland. It was owned by somebody. It was a doctor, and it came from like the 1700s. Didn't explain what the activity was. So I don't know whether because it's a new exhibition, they don't know what they're supposed to be telling the guests about it.
Right.
It's called Feeding the Fear.
I don't know. So.
Correct. But isn't that what you want when you go on a trip like that, or a museum like that? I want to be scared witless when I go on a trip like that. I want moody lighting. Yeah. I want flashing exhibits and scare factors.
You just want somebody flashing. We all know what you're like.
What I'd like is the place to be completely emptied, me on my own in there. That would be absolutely fantastic.
Okay.
Yeah, saw the divvy box.
And? Did it squeal at you or whatever it's supposed to do?
No, it has a very, I must admit, it's a very heavy feeling when you go into the room. Very, very heavy. You can get that close to it because it's double protected. It's obviously in perspex. It's been blessed. It's got protection around it with salt and sage and other bits and bobs. And then there's also another area around the box itself, which is also protected, which gets refreshed and renewed every night after the museum shuts. And there's still some of the tour guides who won't go into it.
Mm. Oh, well. So, other than that, you managed to get round the whole museum with no untoward happenings.
Yeah, I must admit, I'm proud that I actually went back, because I didn't really want to go back after last time, but I felt in a better place to go back. Some weird stuff happened to me, like I explained at the start. But I'm pleased I got there. I'm pleased I got round. We took about 2 hours to go round the whole place.
Yes, it's big.
Yeah, it's 40 odd rooms.
Yeah. And you do it does sound like you certainly get, before, when you had that experience, we looked at it from lots of different angles. When I listened back to the show that we did on your experience in Vegas last year, we looked at it as psychological triggers, that they're building you up for that kind of scenario. But if you've got around the whole museum and not had that happen to you again, then maybe something else was going on back then. I mean, listening back to the show today,
which I was heavily affected in. So.
No, that's true. You didn't. But then there's some other more serious, harder hitting areas, I suppose, that you managed to go around and it wasn't a problem.
Yeah, but there was other people in our group who got affected. Little Sam, she got affected in the Bela Lugosi's mirror room. It felt like somebody had pushed her, which is quite common in that room. We got told that afterwards. So you didn't have that in your head, that if you felt a little bit swayy, you're going to jump to the conclusion you were pushed. But Sam actually said it felt like she got pushed. And then when we spoke to the tour guide, she explained that's quite a common occurrence in the room, particularly in this area that she was. Because there's the episode on Ghost Adventures where they did an investigation at the Haunted Museum, and Father Michael and his wife were in there looking into the mirror, and he got badly affected, and he then collapsed in the very spot where Sam was standing. So, yeah, you can obviously, if we'd have known that information before going in about people getting pushed, possibly you could say that you've got it in your head and you feel a movement, and you just, but if you didn't know about it,
who knows?
I don't know.
But at least you managed to get round it this time. So that's good news, and you're still with us, and you're still fine, and hopefully no aftermath.
Yeah, no nightmares, no bad dreams like I had last time, no weirdness, no. Been all good. Came back, we had a few drinks, bit of a gamble, bit of a party, and then we got up this morning, had breakfast, had some tater tots. Yeah, and it's early afternoon now, so we're about to. I'm going to go and meet up with some friends who just drove in, some American friends, which we've had on the show. I'm going to go meet up with them. Sam and a few others are going off to the Mandalay Bay to go and look at sharks and dolphins. So I just said, I'm going to go off somewhere else to drink and have a laugh. So.
Well, we'll let you get back to your afternoon in Vegas, and we will get back on with the show for tonight. But thank you so much for joining us. Have a good time.
I'm glad to see you still alive, Carl.
And let me know over the weekend what you get up to.
Not all the details, because some of it we don't want to know. She said, let us know over the weekend what you get up to, but don't tell us all the gritty details, because some of it we just really don't want to know. If it's not paranormal, mind you, knowing you, it would be paranormal, but I'm just not into that stuff anymore. No.
That's fine. That's fine. I have some a nice present from you from Area 51.
Oh, awesome! Thank you very much, young man.
That's all right. That's all right. So that's been brought back. That'll be in my case, and I'll get it to you as soon as I get back.
Oh, nice. Well, thank you. So that managed to survive the assault of the Narutos.
Yeah. Well, it didn't actually happen. They had sort of more of a music festival, a bit like Alien Woodstock.
You know, somehow I thought it might turn out like that.
Yeah, I was talking to the guy that runs the Alien Research Centre, and he was just saying, his car park was literally just full of these big RVs. Everybody turned up. All these rooms had been booked out. I'm pretty sure the Alien brothel next door got a lot of business as well.
An alien brothel?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Really? I'm just not.
Yeah.
Too many questions are now floating through Mark's brain on that one, I feel.
There are so many questions I need answers to for that.
So many questions in his head.
That's for another show, I think.
I was going to say, we need to move the show on.
I was talking to somebody yesterday, and they were saying potentially do the brothel, the people in the brothel, do they wear alien heads, or they have three breasts? I don't know.
I think it's maybe something like tentacle porn.
Well, there you go. There's a little bit of homework for you. Book into the
alien
brothel and let us know what goes on behind closed doors.
And do they use butter, or is it a substitute? We don't know.
I don't know. I'm never going to go to a brothel. There's some things I draw a line on. I do most things in Vegas. I might not do that.
It just brings in mind that alien love egg thing that we looked at a little while ago.
Alien love egg?
Yeah, it's a form of sexual
gratification. It's the spaceship from Mork and Mindy came to Earth in.
And it's like little gelatine eggs that, I don't know, it all got a bit gooey for my liking, is kind of sad.
Oh my God, what a choice of words.
Anyway, let's move this show on and look at the next topic on the table.
And just before I go, this is where I am.
Wow. It's the Aurora Bar at the Luxor Hotel we're looking at, and it is huge, and it's big, comfy leather seats. Sam is over there. She's hiding from us.
She's keeping my spot free and buying my winnings. So hopefully when I get back over there.
He always wins when he goes to Vegas. I wish I had Carl's luck.
Thanks.
Well, if he goes to the Bronx, he might get some luck we don't want.
Right, go. Have a good time. Thank you for joining us.
My glass is empty. I know I'm not allowed to say on air as a presenter. I'm off for a drink. But I'm off for a drink. I'm on holiday. I'm in Vegas.
Half a few for me.
Good night, my darling. Thank you for joining us and filling us in on your Zach Baggins Museum trip.
No worries. And I'll catch you up when I get back.
Definitely. I'll speak to you soon, my love.
Have fun.
Have a good rest of the show. Have a good rest of the show, and I'll catch you later, guys.
Thank you. Take care.
Bye. See you later. Bye.
Bye. So, amazing, right? Zach Baggins Museum, fantastic. But it brought me into mind of how certain things are too hot to handle in the paranormal, aren't they? So I'm asking a question. How far is too far in the paranormal?
Well, if I may just add my 10 penneth in here, I think if you're going to do things after, let's say, I don't know, take for instance, a mass murderer has done something. If you're going to do something to try and help one of the relatives and that's fine and dandy, if it's for legitimate, good reasons. If, however, you're going to let a little story slip out on social media so it goes everywhere, and then bad publicity, still good publicity, no, you shouldn't be doing that. And all this nonsense about Fred West's shoes, I'm sorry, what the hell? I'll let you explain that one.
Paul?
Do you know what? I actually agree with Mark. If for example, I don't know, someone's being haunted by one of these famous mass murderers, you go in, do an investigation, do clearings, do whatever it takes to help these people, but you don't plaster it all over social media. There's common sense and sensitivity involved in some of these cases, and I think to plaster it all over social media is a big no-no, especially if it's a private investigation anyway.
Exactly.
And
Marley's
if you do if you're doing live feeds as well, there are people out there that have got live feeds that you have to pay for to join the group, so you'll be making money on it as well. It's something that you should be doing.
So the circumstance most recently is the Fred West shoes and the Ouija board scenario. Now,
there's also far too many jokes
about that. Is it the fact that
they
did that, or is it the fact that they put it out on social? So what you're saying then is it's because they put it out on socials that makes them wrong, but it doesn't make them wrong for doing it.
No.
Because they weren't
gonna
doing that to help anybody. They were just doing it just to see their results, if there were any.
Yeah, but because it's such a sensitive thing, don't put it on social media.
Yeah.
No, I agree. Don't put it on social media. A lot of people do like macabre things like that. You only have to go to the True Crimes Museum, for example, to see macabre things to do with death. They've got the car in there that was involved in the boys' killings.
Yeah.
But
see, that's within living memory, isn't it? As well, because that's the other thing that I've heard of is that it's okay if it's not in living memory.
Yeah, I mean, people still go into the True Crime Museum and do Ouija boards, so it is no different. The difference is plastering it all over social media.
If you're doing it for your own end to get the likes and stuff.
Here's a concept then. If you was at the True Crimes Museum and you was on an investigation and doing an investigation around that area, does that make them wrong for doing that? That's different, isn't it?
That's the event. If you book it and do it as an event, then it's your choice whether you go or not. So you're going to get the people that like the macabre stuff going on that event to see what they can get. But if someone is personally involved in, say, for example, the Essex Boys, because I know the cars down there.
It's not as a motive, though, is it? As, say, one of the mass murderers or a serial killer.
But I'm just using an example because I can't remember exactly everything that's in there.
Okay.
But if someone's personally involved in that case and they don't want to do a Ouija board because something could come across that would make them upset, then you, as an event organizer, you have to respect that and not do the Ouija board session. Or if you're doing like a pendulum and something comes across, then you can always remove them from that area. So you have to be sensitive to the issues, but at the same time, as an event organizer, you got to give the people what they want at the end of the day. And if they want to do an investigation at the True Crimes Museum, then you give them an investigation.
I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is if you was at the True Crimes Museum and you say you live streamed around the Essex Boy exhibit, that won't create a stir on the social medias like some of the instances we've seen recently. We're not pinpointing any specific incident.
Case.
We're looking at it all individually. So we're not picking on anybody. We're just looking at the topic matter of how far is too far.
I think
And some of the reasoning for that has come out that if it's in living memory, but it's not so much that, is it? It's about how emotive the public took whatever the situation was. Because you wouldn't have the outcry by doing a Ouija board by that particular thing and live streaming that, would you?
What I was trying to say is if you're doing something that personally involves a family member of somebody who was killed by that particular person, if you're involved with that family, you shouldn't be streaming it, you shouldn't be airing it, because I don't think it's right. My own personal thoughts are, I don't think that's right, and especially if that person hasn't really agreed to it, you shouldn't then. No, you don't. If it's a personal thing and it involves a family member, don't. Respect their privacy. You're helping them. That's fine and good and brilliant and nice one to you. But don't do it to give yourself a bit of cheap advertising.
No, and I think as well, in speaking generally as well, I think that some of these crimes, it depends. I mean, if children are involved in particular, it's not just the family that's involved. It could be other families that have had their children murdered, and it all brings back bad memories. So it's not just for those families, So I think, I do think that too many teams live stream their stuff anyway.
Right.
It just sometimes when you scroll through like 50 teams doing paranormal investigations all at the same time, and they're all live feeding it. It's just a bit too much, I think, these days.
Oh, I quite like it, I'll be honest with you, if I'm scrolling through on a Saturday night. But then I don't get out in the field much. So for me, it's quite nice to sort of like have a little watch, see the locations, see what's being tried out in the field, that sort of thing. So I don't have a problem with the live streaming factor on the Facebook socials. In regards to how far is too far, I think you're right. I think you have to look at the case and the sensitivity of the case in regards to the public eye. And I'm not saying don't do it. I'm just saying don't publicise that that's what you're doing, because it can impact other people's lives. And it's about the impact it has on other people's lives. And does it actually push the field forward? Essentially, no.
No.
In my opinion. But that's what I just wanted to bring into the table, because I'm very aware sometimes that opinions are important, and we all sit and almost like judge sometimes, and sometimes we react in an emotive way on the socials, and sometimes it's good to express your opinion about something, but you have to make sure you do it in a respectful manner. State what your opinion is, and then walk away. Leave them to it. That's my opinion. If you're of a mind to comment,
I'm not quite. I'm not naive enough to not know that things go on.
Exactly.
But, people do these paranormal investigations. Murderers do come through, and even the murdered comes through sometimes, and. It's just something that we're all into, because it is communicating with the dead, essentially, whatever they died of. So,
well, if you're paranormal investigating, you're trying to communicate with the living, man. I suggest just pick up the bloody phone.
Well, yes, there is that factor to it.
Call me frantic.
Oh dear! Right.
Stop pairs. You ain't got many left.
So another criticism in the field is that we're all doing it for fame and fortune. Well, I have to say, I haven't come across any fame or fortune yet. I don't know about you guys. But this brings me to the next topic on the table. Well, there's an award ceremony about to go on, guys. Everybody's nominating for everybody. It's absolutely fantastic. This is the Higgy Pop Awards. Now, how brilliant. I love this. I think this is brilliant. Every field has some form of recognition. And now we're getting our very own paranormal recognition. Is this a good thing? Is it a bad thing? What do you think?
See, I think I think for people of large personalities like myself, I don't know. Oh yeah, I reckon because I mean, like I thought, I love doing the radio show purely from the fact I absolutely love the paranormal field. I love all you guys, and I love doing this. I'll never go to any other thing. I'd always have you guys with me, you know. So I'm not after fame and fortune or anything like that. But I do think if you've got something like that, and you've got people who tirelessly do this, and this, and they don't do it for fame, fortune, or glory, yeah, give them a bit of recognition. So why not?
Paul?
Yeah, I think, you know, there are teams out there that will let it go to the head. So in that respect, I think it could lead to
just a few,
a lot more arguments, I think, in the field, because they'll be like, oh yeah, I know better, I've won the best paranormal team out there, sort of thing.
Only if they get nominated. You have to nominate. We're in nomination stage at the moment. The categories are. Let's have a look at the categories. I just remember when Paraforce used to do this in a very tongue-in-cheek way. They ended up having a hell of a lot of criticism about it, and yet Higgy Pop are doing it, and everybody's like, nominate me. And I just don't get this. I just find it... This is just one of the humorous things of the paranormal, in my view. I just think it's brilliant. It is a way of recognising your favourite people, as it were, in the paranormal. Well, you God.
Best paranormal broadcaster.
As I think, as long as it's a bit of fun.
No. Aliens! Simple as that.
Fun.
That's it.
Sorry, Paul.
Everybody else can go home, you know.
It's just a bit of fun, and it just needs to be taken as that.
Exactly.
So,
the categories are that you could... Shush. The categories are Best Female Ghost Hunter, and that's to appear in a programme broadcast this year. Best Male Ghost Hunter, again, to appear in a programme broadcast this year. Best Psychic, to appear in a programme or to have toured this year. Best Paranormal Movie. Best Paranormal Broadcaster, which is regularly includes paranormal programming as part of its schedule, but it's for TV, that one. Best Paranormal Reality Show, the best ghost hunting show to air on television worldwide in 2019. Best Paranormal Documentary Film. So this is a factual film released in 2019, either digital, cinema or home release. Best Online Ghost Hunter. Best Online Investigation Team. Best Paranormal Events Team. Best Paranormal Podcast. That's our one, guys. Get nominated.
Yeah, we've got that.
We want that one, please. Best Paranormal Magazine. Best Skeptic. Best Paranormal Blogger. That's me. Paranormal Hotspot.
Oh my God.
Best Paranormal Evidence. And Paranormal Unsung Hero. So you can go over to Higgy Pop and you can put in your nominations for those awards. Then, in November, the list opens, the shortlists open for the nominations, and you can actually start to vote on your faves. So this is how Higgy Pop are doing it. And I think it's a great fun thing in the paranormal.
Oh, it's a bit of a laugh, isn't it? And yeah, I think it's nice that people get a little bit of recognition. But I do think it should be like amateur. I don't think it should be famous.
I think it's covering it all, though, in that. I think he is covering sort of like from your favourite TVs and stuff.
Best skeptic should be Paul, because when you throw questions at him and he just sits there and looks, you go, well, I don't know. So it should be just Paul, you know, Mr. Emperor Nero. I'm going to sit back, relax, recline, look at everybody and go, I don't know, yeah, whatever. So that should be it.
Oh dear, I don't know. I thought that was quite funny. I like that idea. I've shared that the link to put your nominations in onto the Parasearch Radio Group page with hopes and prayers that people like what we do and will nominate us, so I can get some form of certificate on my wall saying we're all amazing. I want an Oscar.
God.
That's actually what I want.
I think I can see where this is going.
I want Vivian Powell to bring back her Scary Marys. I really do.
There's so many jokes there, I'm not going to do it.
Even if it was by default, I wanted a Scary Mary. Even if I just hold it in my hands. Then I could do my proper Gwyneth Paltrow, like, thanking speech. How amazing would that be? Oh, dear.
Oh. I think we've created a monster.
Mark, what have you found out this week?
Oh, just one of the things. Just one of the things I have got to say. Certain person who believes that they are dating Casper the Friendly Ghost. Yeah?
Oh, you had to talk about this one because it's quite an old one, but every time you ask me about this.
But the fact that she is now trying to say the ghost has proposed and wants to have babies with her.
Well, I would actually put her in touch with the lady, the Jack Sparrow lady, Amanda Sparrow. I would actually put her in touch.
Jack Sparrow lady.
No, she was a Jack Sparrow impersonator.
Come and send it to the drunk pirate.
Ended up getting married to a pirate ghost and ended up having huge health problems and then divorced him and she's got better. So, I would actually put Amethyst in touch with her so she can learn maybe from the experience that it might not be a good thing.
If she gets pregnant by the spirit, does that make it a phantom pregnancy?
Oh God! Or the Holy Ghost. It could be the Holy Ghost. I want to know. I'm sorry, but it's a spirit. How they flip when it's totally different energy, totally different vibrations. Oh, that's probably it. There you go. I just hit the nail on the head. It's the vibrations. How would that, Mrs., get her... did she look like a startled deer in the headlights, sir? How would that get her pregnant? Did she want it, sir? Did she want it? Oh, suit you, sir. Oh, look, I'm up to duff. Casper, the Friendly Ghost, has just taken me from behind. No, he hasn't. I'm sorry, but no.
I think we need to on the show to ask her all these questions.
We have tried to track her down. I'm not lying on this one. We have actually tried to track Amethyst Realm down and we couldn't find her. And we put this out before. If anybody can find her, then please put her in touch because I'd love to interview her.
Man. Come on,
she is real, isn't she? She's
carted out on Good Morning Britain, not Good Morning Britain, the other one. Yeah, it was Good Morning Britain plenty of times. So she's actually a real and kicking person. But it does make me wonder if she's an actress, being as we can't find her. Yet we found Amanda Sparrow quite easily.
Well, this girl names it Amethyst Realm. So Amethyst Realm has been rogered by Casper the Friendly Ghost.
Oh, dear.
Oh, God, you couldn't even make that one up, can you? I mean, imagine that being turned into a porno. You only need one actor in it.
Casper the over-friendly ghost, I think.
Okay, I think we've exhausted that one now. He's got all the jokes on that one he could possibly get in his head out. I think I had to give him the airtime to allow that brainstorming session to come forward. Something else has come up this week. I got sent a video, and I don't know quite why people think I'm going to believe them, but I got sent a video, and it was like, latest UFO sightings in Italy. Let's just be quiet while my son decides to talk while I'm live on a show. Yeah, still not listening to me. Sorry, guys. You have to bear my son's dulcet tones in the background. So,
that's fine.
So I got sent this video. Sent this video, and it's like latest UFO sighting in Italy, and basically kind of starts off quite promising. It looks like a cloud formation, typical disc shape. Then it got sillier and sillier.
Yeah. Are you going to share it in the chat room?
If I can find it. So, yes, I will do that. Now, guys, this is what annoys me about the ufology world.
The ufology world, I mean, I've always said that any single thing in the world, whether it's a chef, an artist, a paranormal investigator, us lot who love all the bits of the paranormal, but we don't take it all overly seriously. When you get a certain niche, you will always get people who claim to be experts in it. You'll get who claim to be, they do everything in it and they are haunted, but they have a spirit guide who is like 2 million years old and is called Sam and likes things like that. And then you'll get the Mickey takers, you'll get the ones who do it for fame and glory and hunting and certainly other, and then you'll get the people who will just look. Classic example: orbs. when you got what's clearly dust or an insect or something going past the microphone, past the camera, and then you hear somebody straight away go, "Oh my God, can you see all those orbs?" And it's like, no, love, it's a load of dust. Or, no, you've just gone through a cloud of mosquitoes. That really isn't orbs. Do you see what I mean, though? If you've seen that yourself, Paul, and things we've been on, where you've got people who claim to be this, that, and the other, and you just look at them and you're like, wow, have you had your Ritalin today, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. And to be fair, I'm not sure who deserves a slap more, like the bloke who made this or Kerry for sharing it.
So I don't like this one then, guys. That's kind of the vibe I'm getting here.
As you say, it started off all right, and then it went to what the...
Flipping Nora. I get stuff like this. These are people trying to convince me, I think, of ufology world, and I'm like looking at that and going, I weren't born yesterday. Why on earth did you think that sending me that particular piece of footage was actually going to make me believe in UFOs and aliens?
Have you seen the one in Chile?
This one, the video that you shared in the chat room, right? It reminds me of that Jeremy Beadle sketch show that he used to do, and one of the last big jokes that he played on someone was the alien landing in the back garden.
That's right. Yes. Beadle's about.
That's it. That's the show. Yeah. That's what this sort of reminds me of.
Yeah.
Just
I
more
feed.
Wow.
Have you seen?
I have to say though, this is my general problem with the ufology world. Is footage that comes out that people are saying proof. It's the same as the paranormal field, isn't it? You look at it and you weren't there, so you don't know. Yeah. And also, like, if you take a photograph of the blinking moon in the life light, it looks enormous, and then you take it on your phone, it's tiny. So it's very difficult.
Yeah, that's what a lot of men do when they're taking pictures of their nadges to send to their girlfriends. Do you see the complete silence and the death that Kerry is giving me now? Well, Paul told me he does it in that particular light, make it look big. Anyway, have you seen the one in Chile?
No. Tell me about the one in Chile.
There's in Mexico, I can't remember, I think it was in the 80s, there was a load of so-called flying humanoids filmed above the city of Mexico. And to be fair, it was quite it wasn't like that video where you just look at it and go, what the you know? It did look genuinely like people, but it also looked like witches on broomsticks. And in Chile, we've had the same thing. I've got the video, and it literally looks like somebody sat side saddle on a broom and flying it around. So I don't know if it's a drone, if it's
drones.
A drone or a bin liner that's been taken up in the wind. But it does look interesting. I'm not going to turn around and say aliens or anything like that, because I'm not convinced by this one. But so we've got witches flying around in Chile at the moment.
Okay. However, strange things have been known to fly across the sky. We're talking about like things like the Mothman, and isn't there a giant vampire bat? And I mean, not just like a normal giant vampire bat, like a super big human-sized vampire bat that they reckon lives over in Mexico somewhere.
Yeah, they're supposed to be related to the chupacabra. Yeah, Yes, there is.
And there have been sightings of pterodactyls, believe it or not, everybody.
There has, and Brontosaurus apparently somewhere in Africa.
I know.
I was like, yeah, they used them to film Jurassic Park.
They escaped the island, didn't they?
Real. Just somebody tell Paul that it's not real, because he still thinks it is.
They just look like giant pelicans to me.
Yeah.
What?
They did. They just look like giant pelicans.
On another note to do with cryptozoology, there has been a study into various mythical beasts, and this, that, and the other. And you know the harpies from Greek times.
Yeah.
They think that the harpy eagle is the reason the harpy legend came about. And when you look at the harpy eagle, you can see that straight away. And I think that a lot of cryptozoology may be things that we just haven't discovered yet. but not exactly as people think. But the harpy eagle is the one. I think it's the biggest eagle in the world. And when you see it looking down at you, it literally looks like a human in a bird mask looking at you. And it's pretty unnerving. You look at the thing and you're like, Mildred, where's my bloody gun? You know.
But you could understand where these mythologies grow up from if you've got creatures like that. You know, I mean, and also it's in the telling, isn't it? It's a bit like the fisherman's story of it was this big, but in reality it wasn't as big as that. Do you know what I mean? It's that kind of tale. So if someone's come across something unusual, it's like it was enormous when actually it was fear that made it seem more enormous.
See, there's a lot more jokes there as well, Kerry, but we're just not going to go there. I'll steer it away because we know what your filthy potty mind is like. So shall we go to something else?
I always do this, don't I? I always talk about it's like very sensible, and then they twist it into perversion.
You can just hear the Salt and Pepper song playing every time something comes up, and she's there going, "Let's talk about sex, baby." You know, and it's just like, Kerry, come on, focus. I'll tell you what. Have you seen the terraces that have been found on Mars?
Yes, I've been keeping my eye on this one because they're really making quite a big deal, aren't they, out of it?
I think it's where they used to be. Looking at them, when you look at the photo from above, because it's like two big hills.
Link?
But I'll try. But it's two great big rocks. But it looks like water erosion over however long, you know. But it is interesting because all the area around it is also terraced, but it also reminds me of the pyramids at Machu Picchu. You know how the ground there was deliberately terraced to make it stronger and able to withstand X amount of weather and this, that, and the other. It reminds me of that. Right, hang on a second. Let me just try and share it, and I'll put that into there, and then if you can share that into the chat room for people. I have sent them.
I've got to go do some work now.
There you go. Strange abnormality on the surface of Mars. And by surface of Mars, I don't mean they misspelt the R on the bar.
They are talking, though, about getting closer to actually making an official statement in regards to what they perceived as life on Mars, aren't they? They're talking about that.
That's
that
right,
they're getting close to it, that they're not actually going to do it. But with this recent discovery of water on Mars, or possibility of water on Mars, what do we think, guys? I don't know.
I do believe, obviously, there's life on other planets, and water is a really good source to prove that there could be life. I don't believe for a second that it could maybe be as evolved as we are. I mean, I'm sure there's civilizations out there that might have just evolved
as evolved as we are, mate. I enjoy the relief of a cheeky sit-down pee. Trust me, nothing's as evolved as that.
Yeah, well, Mark's unique, so. But I think as far as life on other planets, like microbes, you know, maybe possibly some animals, but I don't think for a second that they're as technical as we are.
Oh, okay.
I don't know. I'm see, you know what I'm like about my alien stuff and things, but when you look into a lot of old legends and things about, and I'm not going to go into it, but we were talking about the Anunnaki beforehand and some new Dead Sea Scrolls that have been translated, and it does point to we have been visited before by vastly intelligent beings. So, you know, I don't know. Maybe.
Who knows?
It wouldn't explain the world leaders we got these days, but it would explain a few other things.
Right, now, before we disappear for the evening, I want to give a quick shout out. And we've got some teams out there investigating. I'm sure they're all having a coffee break listening to us before they investigate, obviously. So, Brooks Paranormal are out tonight at Bestwood Lodge in Nottingham. That sounds great. Bestwood Lodge, not one I've heard of. HD Paranormal are out doing the Gloucester weekend investigations. So good luck to you guys. Wayne, poor old Wayne Seaton, is sitting in a darkened room writing his next tale for Spookinary.
Oh dear.
That's a little thing.
Oh dear. Well, don't frighten yourself too much there, Wayne.
And Sharon Bradfield, the EAPI team, are out to Condor Farmhouse for the weekend. Definitely seems to be a theme on the paranormal field where the people seem to be doing a couple of nights in a location rather than just the one.
Which is good.
I
think
we should get it together.
All the teams that we just give a shout out to, we'll send the invoice for the advertising.
Yeah. I think we need to get together and have an investigation or another paranormal party. I think another paranormal party would be good.
My lovely Jay Lynch is out and about as well, but he's dressing up very much in a costume at the moment. He is Bodine the Bigfoot at the moment. He's going around causing absolute mayhem by the looks of it, all across the American socials. Every time I look on it, and he's in his costume, in a place, a new place.
No, I love it. I love it. Oh, there's a couple of things else I must tell you before we disappear. The Iraqi government has recently, and I mean recently, last couple of weeks, admitted that Nibiru and Anunnaki are real. That's another thing that could be looked into. And also, certain blogs, one about tattoos and one about ancient aliens, made their way onto Disclosed TV.
Did it?
Yeah, and it's getting liked on there quite well.
Oh, awesome! Well done.
So there you go. Thank you. Your lovely alien guy has got stuff up on Disclosed TV now. So and it started a discussion for him as well. Yeah,
awesome.
I shall have to make some more.
That's fantastic.
I shall have to do some. Well, I think I might. Thank you. I think I might do one on cryptozoology and stuff, and also try to explain why all cats are bastards. So
No, that's paranormal all in itself. Right, Paul, what are you writing about lately? You went through a little spat. So are you doing a particular one that's troubling you, or are you...
No. Do you know what? I've given it a little bit of a rest because I knew someone was getting bored sort of reading through proofreading my blogs.
That's not true.
Oh, come on. You're writing a book, aren't you? You're writing a book.
No, I'd like to write a book, but no, I've just not just decided on what subject I'm going to write about next. That's all.
Yeah. Well, it did take you about 2 years to get the Wall Pit one done, so we have to give you some time.
Exactly.
Now, one last thing.
I do enjoy doing those Black Shark ones. That was good. So maybe some more folklore somewhere.
Who knows?
We'll bring the next one.
Before we disappear, continuing a little bit with the old cryptozoology thing. New dinosaur, the Nodosaur dinosaur, mummified Nodosaur, however you say that word. How interesting on this one. A full living, breathing dinosaur.
Who mummy?
Nature.
Who wrapped it up in bandages?
Pardon?
Who wrapped it up in bandages?
Well, nobody. It was just the natural processes that actually created the mummification process more. That's what that was.
It was Paul. On his weekend off. He was practicing
That'll
his
be in the next Jurassic Park movie.
I love this.
Jurassic World.
The Royal Tyrrell
Paul.
Museum of Paleontology in Alberta, Canada, recently unveiled a dinosaur so well preserved that many have taken to calling it not a fossil, but an honest-to-goodness dinosaur mummy.
Awesome. Can they extract DNA from?
Researchers are astounded at the unprecedented level of preservation. And I have to say, it looks like it's got chin hair.
There's another one as well, isn't there? This one here, and the Boreala pelta, and it looks like a bit like a pangolin with spikes. But again, you can see every single detail: the hair, the skin, everything.
This is a new thing as well. We've not had mummified dinosaur remains before. We've had skeletons.
It could be my ex-mother-in-law. I'm not too sure. The similarities are quite striking.
Anyway, last words, because we are coming up to the end of the show. So what do we think, guys, on tonight's topics? It's all been a bit here, there, and everywhere, but it's brought up lots of interesting concepts to the paranormal field. What do we reckon?
I think we should keep. I like this. I must admit, I like this. It's more laid back, and there isn't frantic research and people bitching, Paul, about the amount of research that I do. So,
it's actually not Paul that's been bitching. I would just like to say
he has
that.
done.
He deflected it over to Paul.
No,
but that's
no,
me
no.
all
He
over.
joined in with Carl. Stuff the pair of you. So I like it because it gets to us to all talk about everybody's topics, not just like mine or yours or Paul's or whoever. And everybody in the chat room, everybody listening. There's going to be something in there, hopefully, for everybody. So if there isn't, then what are you doing listening to us? Bugger off. Go on.
Well, they are, because it is the end of the show. Paul?
I think, I mean, we've touched on quite a few subjects tonight, but they are bigger subjects in themselves as well, so there's so much more. But at least, we've started the ball rolling, and hopefully people will carry on talking about it.
Excellent. On that note, don't forget, tune in Monday for the weekly roundup of shows going on the Parasearch Radio group page on Facebook. Don't forget, you can find us on Twitter, Instagram, LinkedIn, and obviously Facebook. And YouTube. All of our past catalogue of shows are over on our YouTube channel. There's Parasearch Radio and Archive Parasearch. And whilst you're over there, don't forget to click like, share, and subscribe. And on that note, say goodnight, guys.
Good night, everybody. Good night.
Thank you for listening. Don't forget to join us for more shows throughout the week. Find us on Facebook, Twitter, and the World Wide Web to keep up to date with all the shows right here on Parasearch Radio.